Yes, people, what's going on? Morning. Good morning. Welcome back to United View, man. And a little Flex's view for you this morning, man. We're not live this morning. Little Flex's view, because I knew I was going to do this after the last couple of days. I'm going to be deadly honest with you. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. You know what I'm saying? Get your feet under the carpet, all of the formalities, etc., etc. I like these types of Flex's views because when something spikes up, whether it's on a specific player, whether it's on the ownership, well, the ownership we all agree on, there's not really much to debate there. The transfer policies, the this, that, and the others, and of course the manager. When something spikes up, I like to just take it all in, discuss it with everyone, and then at the end of that, which let's be honest, is still going to continue, I like to come back, sit down, calm myself down, yeah, and give you my take away from all the noise, away from everybody else. That's what the Flex's view is all about. And I want to talk about my stance on Ruben. I think it's time to address it properly. Of course, we've had a lot of big shows the last couple of days. I haven't really had the chance to really say Wagwan for me. Here's the thing. I think we need a lot of calm. I do. I on my over like my over sort of overall reaction and feeling on it all is trying to bring calm. And I mean that not in a gaslighting way. Shout out Marcel. You know what I'm saying? You're telling us to keep calm when the thing's burning down. We got 10, 11 losses, 6 wins, this, that, and the other. I ain't saying that's the reason to keep calm. I mean, for me, Ruben, I'm not blindly backing Ruben in terms of I 100% know that this guy is it, because I think there's a confusion of if you support the manager, especially in this period, then you're deluded and you're just blind backing him because you haven't seen anything. And I know there's some validity to that. But for me personally, it doesn't make any sense to bring a guy in halfway through the season when he didn't want to take the job. He did not want to come here. Ineos said you have to. It's now or never. And he wanted to come to our club. They know he plays the 3-4-3 system. Yeah. So he ain't going to change from that. We asked Eric Ten Hag to keep his principles. He ditched them after 4 games and never went back. Ruben Amorim is sticking to his. Now, there is an element like what Marcel was saying, a lot of other people saying, is that he's flushing out a lot of players that ain't going to be up to what he's doing. Now, I also said that he does need some accountability. And guess what? When I spoke about accountability, everyone wanted to cuss me out. Everyone wanted to cuss me out. Every single person. Oh, you're not ready for a rebuild. Oh, you're not. You're basically hammering him out. And a few months later, what are we here back talking about because we got spanked against Newcastle in a game that we all thought we would lose? We're talking about accountability. So it is funny how these things keep going around. Sometimes we're more willing to talk about these topics than not. And I feel like after taking such a bad L this late in the season as well, because there's been quite a few, we're more willing to talk about Ruben now than we were a couple of months ago when the same kind of stuff was happening. You know, it was only a few games ago, you know, that we were talking about seeing a slight improvement in the team. And when we say slight, we mean that not in capital letters. Do you know what I'm saying? Well, actually in capital letters, let's emphasize that. A slight improvement. That's what we were talking about. And then we lose against Newcastle with the individual errors. And now it's this guy's not up to it. It's too many losses. It's this, that, and the other. I just think personally, and I know this, listen, you may not think this, but for me, it doesn't make any sense to sack him now. What does that do? Or get to the end of the season and sack him? To make him come in here and not even have a proper window, not even allow Ineos to actually back him with what, at least 5 players, at least to not give him a chance to go next year. Now, shout out Minna. Minna I didn't get a chance to bring it up on the live stream because it was so rammed in the red carpet yesterday. But Minna was saying she didn't get like people that were saying like get to the summer, give him the summer, get some players in, and if it's not good by Christmas, etc., then make the mistake. And I see her point. Then get rid of him. I'd say it was a mistake. And her point was, which is a valid point, Minna's saying that you're just going to be left with a bunch of players who play that system, just like what Ten Hag did, and then we're going to sack him halfway through the season, and then you're going to be stuck. I don't personally see it like that. I think it's more detrimental to get a guy in and not even give him a chance, a proper shot. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, this season is the worst ever. We have to be prepared for pain. You know, look how bad the team is. The team is absolutely shocking. We know this. Yeah, we know this. We're 13th when Eric Ten Hag left. I know we were like, 4 or 5 points off top four. I get that, and we've got worse. We've got worse because Ruben's changed so much. But it's better to do it now than not at all. You know, I get that, but it makes no sense to me to pay this guy's release clause. I don't know how much did we. What did we spend? We spent what? Was it the best part of £15 million? I don't know why that figure's in my head, but a substantial amount, yeah, significant amount of £1 million, yeah, of getting rid of Eric Ten Hag, yeah, because we should have done it in the summer. But he had 2 years. He had 2.5 years, not 3.5, 4.5 months. You know what I mean? October. When did Ruben come in? November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 7 months. We're not sacking someone after 7 months and saying like you're rubbish when all we got them was Patrick Dorgu in a January transfer window, and he's got to deal with reshaping the squad and getting rid of people who either A aren't good enough to be here or B don't want to be here. Marcus Rashford, Anthony, etc., etc. Malacia. He's got to start shaping the squad with no money to replace these players. So yes, in the end, in January, we got even worse. We made ourselves even weaker, which was a stupid point of view from in terms of like Ineos and why they haven't done it. But we ain't got the money. It's like we're saying as fans that these players are shit. These players are dead. They need to move. You can't work with these lot. These lot are criminals, mate. You can't work with these lot. But then we're surprised that Ruben can't work with them and make them much better. Which one is it? Are the players dead and they need to be moved on? Or should this manager be making these same dead players who need to leave better? And they're players that he hasn't even bought. You look at Ten Hag, he spent over 600 million, and Owen speaks about it all the time. We all speak about it all the time, yeah? That criminal transfer window, of Højlund, Mount, who else was it last year? Højlund, Mount, Onana, Johnny Evans. That's one of the most criminal. And then he followed that one up. That was followed the season before with who was it in the first season? Lisandro Martinez, done okay. Anthony. Who else did he get in that? Casemiro. Look how that set us back. Malacia, gone already. So all of these guys that he's brought in, Ericsson on a free. All right, cool. That's fair enough. But all of these guys he's brought in, you're going, what? Look at us now. Do you know what I mean? Look at us now. So these are monumental failings, and Ruben hasn't been part of that. Ruben Amorim has got the least amount of blame at his doorstep for me. Without even being able to buy players. And this thing about like you're going to be stuck with players. This is an interesting point. I want to talk about that, yeah, because it's true in the fact of we need to make sure this doesn't happen. That if it doesn't work with Ruben for whatever reason, we're not buying players that are just wedded to one system. Well, let's look at the players that we've got. We've bought Lenny Yoro so far, yeah. I'm just going to go through some of them. Lenny Yoro, it comes from Lille playing a back four. He's changed into a back three now, and he's adapted to that. He's shown he can do a bit of both. He's learnt some adaptation. So if we're left with Lenny Yoro, fine. Lisandro Martinez can play both. Fine. I'm pretty sure if we get another centre half, even if that was a Jared Brantwaite or whatever, that switch to the 4 to the 3 is not that deep. The wing backs is where it gets interesting. The wing backs now is where you probably would have a problem there, because I do get this point. You're signing multifunctional players. So Dorgu spent time at Lecce on the right wing, at left back, at left wing, etc. So he's multifunctional. So he's not an out-and-out fullback, but he can play there. He can play there. Dallo, listen, we want to get rid of him, but we know he's a right back anyway, and we're going to go and get a wing back. So you'd need to go and get wing back. Central midfielders are central midfielders. I don't want to hear that if it's a 2 or it's a 3. Again, if our scouting is good enough, we will get players that can play a multitude of positions within reason. A striker's a striker. A number 9's a number 9. Wingers obviously is a problem because we're going to buy inside 10s. You know what I mean? So say you bought Mateus Cunha for this system, then we switched it up because Wolves play a similar system. Then you switched it up to just a 4-2-3-1. Then what do you do with Bruno? But this new age Bruno probably plays deeper anyway. You probably stick Cunha in a 10 and you got to go and get some wingers. I get that. I do understand that. But what's the answer? Don't back this manager. Don't buy him any players then. Let's bring him in and not even see what it was like. What are we doing here? I am not blindly backing Ruben, but I don't understand the shouts that he should leave now or leave at the end of the season. It's going to get worse. So when we lose our next game, we probably won't even beat Wolves at Yard. We have to just get to the end of the season and start buying players. And this season, like we say every summer window, this summer window, should I say, is the biggest it's been in years, because it's true. If Ruben doesn't get off to a good start and if he doesn't get the support, that's the thing that worries me the most. It doesn't matter who the manager is, it's the people making decisions and the recruitment. Can you trust Ineos to really back this guy properly? I don't know. I don't know. It scares me what the summer's going to look like. Now, we're favourites along with Chelsea to really get the lap. There's links to Cunha. There's even links to Patrick Schick. Leverkusen, there's a lot of stuff going on. We'll have to see who we get and who we can shift. They've got monumental work to do. When you see Jean-Claude Blanc changing jobs again from director to head of international football bollocks or whatever it is, again, there's people just moving around, and you've got cycling and F1 guys just running shit. I'm more worried about that than Ruben Amorim, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure. So there you go, man. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm sure we'll keep talking about this. And if we don't win on Thursday, I'm sure we'll be back here saying a lot of people were like, I've seen enough. This guy's got to go because he didn't win the Europa League at the first time of asking. I don't know, man. Listen, he may not be the guy, but right now we haven't had enough time. For me, I haven't had enough time to decide that yet. I'm not entertaining that. I think he needs to get to the summer. This guy needs to buy his players, get rid of some players, and show us some improvement. He's not naive. And if that don't happen, he'll get sacked. And the people who want him out now will get what they want, and we'll be back to square one again. So with Ineos, he probably ain't got a clue. That's the most scary thing anyway. I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Peace.